friends. Eric's joining me here. We have what I consider to be a gross violation of censorship, of human rights, of human decency. Is this the most horrible censorship crime yet? Maybe so. It's official. Australia has banned hentai. Let's discuss. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Boo! Boo! Boo, Australia! Boo! What happened, man? Australia used to be cool, man. What the fuck happened? This is disappointing.
I think it was the fires.
Is the fires? Made him go crazy?
All fucked in the head.
Got him all fucked up. Well, before we get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Eric, where can people find you if you want them to find you? What's happening?
Dario
My computer's going crazy.
You put the thing on.
No, I didn't put the thing on. I wanted to put the handles on. There you go. See? There you go.
Why didn't you do that before?
Okay.
Why'd you
Shut
mess
the
it
fuck
up?
You shut the fuck up. Anyway,
You messed it up.
so also live streaming. I'm trying to live stream every day, Monday through Friday. You can find that on YouTube at Super Dario World, also on Twitch. If not, if you just want to check out the video later, go on YouTube, subscribe, like it there. It really helps me out. So let's get into this because this is the most important piece of news in the day, and I brought in an expert. And so before we actually get into this, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to look at the camera right now. Actually, no, I'm going to look at the camera. I need you to look at me right now. Look me in the eyes. This is why you vote. This is why you fucking vote. This is why. Because otherwise some fucking dumbass politician is going to come in there and take your fucking rights to watch hentai.
I heard something.
This is book burning. I'm upset. All right? This is wrong. This is wrong. All right? This is what happens. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, hentai is a form of art. Would you agree? Yes, it is a form of art. Now, I brought in an expert here so you can explain to the audience out there what is hentai and why should anybody care. Eric, please. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Eric is my kid brother. So
Hi.
There you go. Take it away, brother.
Hentai. The best way to explain it is
A little bit louder or closer to the mic.
Can you hear me now?
Sure, just this is your level. There you go.
Yeah. Hentai is porn. Of the animated kind,
Could be a book too. Could be a drawing.
but it's still porn. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm agreeing on the porn part. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically Japanese like cartoon porn.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
basically what it is.
That's fair. That's fair.
Generally, you can find many fan made variations called doujinshi, which is like, let's say you have like a favorite anime. What's your favorite anime?
Right now?
Yeah,
Well, right now I'm really digging Naruto.
Naruto is a great anime.
Yes,
right?
it is. I'm really enjoying it. It's my first time going through it. I'm
You're
in
gonna love
Shippuden
the
right now.
doujins because they have hundreds and hundreds of them. You want to watch all those characters get fucked? You can.
It doesn't happen on the
readily
show.
find it anywhere.
It doesn't happen on the show.
Well, some story arcs do get kind of fucked, but you want to go? You want to watch those? Your favorite characters from Naruto get fucked? You can find it anywhere except Australia now, apparently.
Yeah. So apparently Australia is banning pornography of a particular kind, which it's xenophobic if you ask me, in many ways.
Against cartoon people?
Yes. Cartoon people are real people. They have real feelings. Actually, no. That's the exact argument here. So,
Actually, that's the problem.
actually, that's the whole problem. So, first off, let's go through the article. I'm gonna be reading through the article, and you can sneak in your expertise here. So, this is an article from Vice, and I guess I can put it up here on the screen. Eric, you can move it a little bit closer. So,
Yeah.
it's an
I have
article
a
from
lot
Vice.
of first-hand experience with it.
And it reads, Japanese hentai is now banned in Australia. The comics are now regarded as illegal pornography following fears of child porn being brought into the country. So, first off, do you think it is fair to compare or to address hentai as child pornography?
The problem there is that you end up falling under the problem of legal definitions, I suppose. So it depends on like what countries define something as child pornography.
And it also, you have to beg the question is, how old is 17 really? For those of you who don't know what the reference is, check out the Dave Chappelle special. And there's got to be a clip just by 17. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. The answer is not enough where we live. That's the answer.
Yeah.
But in regards to cartoons, it has always been the question of, well, what happens if they're like depicting, the children as like, sexualized? And my answer to that is they're not real.
They're not real.
They're not actually depicting children as sexualized or whatnot, because they're not children.
They're not real.
I mean, and I mean it in the sense that they're literally not children. They're literally not anything other than lines on a piece of paper, right?
You know what's funny? This is the exact argument people had against video games.
That's why
It's gonna make you violent. It's gonna make kids violent. It's gonna make kids violent. It's gonna make them go and shoot
It's the GTA
people.
argument, right?
What?
It's the GTA argument.
Yes. It's
like-
gonna...
Or like when Doom cost Columbine.
Yeah. So it's an argument made by small-minded people. And it's...
And they have small peepees, too.
It's actually pretty interesting because let's say, for example, I'll go back to the screen here, the image that they show. They are assuming that the small-breasted character here is the child character, right? She could be a 20-year-old. I know plenty of 20-year-olds that have this particular build.
Dude, there's like specific like porn actresses who, I mean, you can clearly see what they're going for, but they look like they're like literally 14 or something.
They're
but they're
called
in
lolis, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that would be the term in anime.
Okay.
In real life, we just call them like women who look really young, but they're
Wait,
actually in their 30s.
You've never seen or read the book Lolita?
No, I actually haven't, because
It's
I
about
prefer my books with images.
all right, it's a story of a dude who starts dating this chick who has I believe 13, 14, 15-year-old daughter named Lolita, and she's hot. And so that's where that term comes from.
I didn't know about the book. I just
So it could be one or two ways. One, an older girl that looks very young, or a young girl that looks very old.
generally don't see the second one, I don't think.
I mean, you can with makeup and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. But I think after, at least in anime, they generally don't consider it. Lolly isn't actually used as a term for age. It's about
How they look.
look.
Yeah. And
So
it's,
a petite,
petite.
woman, they would maybe consider lolly depending on how they look.
exactly. So discriminated against petite women. Australians, you bigots. You're discriminating against petite women. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, let's continue on with this article, which is fun. All right.
Yeah.
So Australian authorities are reportedly cracking down on the importation of hentai from Japan, specifically from Japan. So I'm guessing you can still send hentai from, I don't know, Singapore or wherever, or America. Anyway.
Is it only official stuff? I don't know.
But signaling the latest measures in the nation's increasingly hardline stance on the sexually explicit comics. Is it only comics? Like, do they not know that the internet exists?
I think it's the problem with the language. So, because I think this law can be expanded into like video games and all different sorts of media.
Dude, they're gonna get rid of dating sims?
I mean, I wouldn't think so.
I don't know, but let's continue reading. Maybe the article itself will answer it.
Because the problem is like the argument can actually expand into like shows that are literally not pornographic in nature at all.
Yeah, it could just be normal anime.
It could be like I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is there like a scene in the Fairy Odd Parents where a child may have looked a little risque, like maybe Timmy Turner or like Bart Simpson when he's running around and he's like butt naked?
I mean, there's a lot of adult jokes in children's cartoons for sure.
Yeah. And is that technically now considered breaking that law?
Well, apparently it's only if it's Japanese, so they're very xenophobic. Anyway, or racist.
They just
whatever.
don't like good art.
It's like, this is bad because it looks really good. That's the problem here. We don't like octopuses. They're weird and squishy.
As a like a little side, one thing that's very interesting about like the hentai industry is that a lot of very popular manga artists actually started with hentai.
Because porn sells, people. Porn sells. Turns out people like porn. Like 80% of the internet is porn.
Like
80%
you're watching
of the
porn
internet
right
traffic
now.
is porn. Yeah.
You-
the only
you-
reason
you
the only
specifically
reason
you.
you clicked on this is because the first word was hentai, and that was by design.
And I
Look,
kept telling him, just
I'm
put
not-
some two big anime titties in the cover. You're gonna make bank.
I would not
you
be
would
shocked
not
if this
listen.
is my most watched episode. And you know what? This is important stuff because it could be expanded everywhere else. And could you imagine them coming in there and burning your books? This is literal book burning. Maybe not literal, but they're burning books. It's art.
They might burn your hard drive. You don't know.
Actually, imagine if they start tracking that shit. You're done. Like, you're done.
Get a VPN, folks.
If you're in Australia, get a VPN from America. There you go. Problem solved. Anyway, let's continue here.
Did you know they don't have Amazon in Australia? I always knew there was something wrong with them.
Why wouldn't they have Amazon?
They have like their own company, which is like eBay, and it's like weird.
I mean, that's the equivalent.
It's not as good. I've heard from Australian people. I don't know.
I don't know.
Some of them might like it.
I don't know. Well, I
bet those that like it are the ones who support banning
yeah.
hentai.
Actually,
too.
you know what? You just told me something. Oh, I said, I'll wait to see if it's in the article. But anyway, let's continue. The Japanese adult retailer J-List, which specializes in the sale of sex toys, anime, cosplay figurines, and manga, posted a statement to their website earlier this month claiming that Australia's border force and customs had started blocking all their adult products from entering the country. So it's not just hentai. It's figurines, cosplay. So costumes.
Yeah, I told you.
Dude, they're banning costumes? Like, what if your girl wants to dress up as, I don't know, Sakura or somebody? What the hell?
Well, Sakura, I believe she's 15 during the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in Shippuden? I thought she was older.
No, it's a 2-year time skip. 15.
Yeah, I
Maybe
didn't
a year passes in Shippuden. But they're definitely not over 18. I can tell you that.
Yeah. What if she wants to dress up as Grandma Tsunade?
No longer able.
So, costumes. Costumes. You're banning costumes. Costumes. Only because
What are you
they're from
doing,
Japan.
Australia?
What the fuck? Seriously.
What are you doing?
Like, this is the worst type of censorship. But anyway, let's continue. This includes pornographic hentai, Japanese porn videos, sexually suggestive figurines of anime characters, onaholes? What
Oh, let me tell you. Basically a fleshlight.
Okay, flashlights. That is an artificial vagina's designed for masturbation. Oh, it explains it right there. And any
Don't
other
worry, I didn't
product
need that extra explanation.
and any other product marked with a 18 plus 18 symbol as a result, J-List has been advised to stop shipping to the country. What the fuck? So they're just basically trying to destroy the company, right?
That company in particular, maybe?
I mean,
don't
because
know.
it's a whole bunch of other stuff that makes no sense. Like, what's wrong with let's say other regular Japanese porn?
Well, there's plenty wrong because they keep censoring it, but
they make it blurry. It's weird.
what the hell?
But
We
I
got
mean,
high quality
like,
stuff.
listen, I get it if you don't want to see it because it's like ooh pervy, but why block other people from wanting to who want to see it and they want to buy it legally?
Because they're a bunch of Puritan
So
cunts.
and this is what bugs me. This is the first step for towards more censorship, towards more authoritarianism. And it always starts with something simple like, oh yeah, we're trying to protect the children. We want to ban it for the children, and then it expands and expands because they keep finding or using the same excuse. It's
If you want some type of like legislation to pass, always name it like the Child Protection something
Yeah.
Act.
Also, fuck you, Australia. You were created by criminals. Like, you ain't better than us. You fucking Puritans. Are you killing me?
They were better when they were criminals.
Exactly. What
Now
the
they
fuck?
became a bunch of pussies.
Australia used to be cool, man. The fuck? Anyway, let's continue. DHL Japan called us last week informing us that Australian customs have started rejecting packages containing any adult product. Any adult product, the company wrote in their statement. They then advised us to stop sending adult products to the country. Following that, current Australian orders with adult items in them were returned to us this week. The best way to avoid getting anyone's hopes up of receiving something new, shiny, and for adults only is to cease shipping adult products to Australia. That's what J-List said. So they basically stopped sending anything to Australia. So clearly they had orders. So they have a demand. Hey, crazy thing. Turns out weebs are in Australia too. And weebs wanted to watch porn. And you know what's even weirder? They were willing to pay for it. You can watch it for free on the internet.
Oh, and it's a lot of fucking money that the hentai industry makes. A lot of fucking money.
Yeah, you know what? Fun fact, technology has been guided by pornography. You know why VHS ended up winning the technology wars over, what was the other thing, the Betamax? Doesn't matter. It was because of porn.
Laserdisc.
Okay? It's because the porn industry decided we're going to use VHS instead of anything else. And it turns out that everybody wanted to have a VHS player now. Why? Because they want to watch porn. Right?
It's also easier to record on a VHS and,
Exactly, transporting it and all that stuff. The point is,
porn.
yeah, gotta give the people what they want. And if the people
Same
want
thing
that,
with
you know what?
same thing with internet also.
Yeah, again, like 80% of the traffic on the internet is pornography. People are perverts. All right, let's just put it out there. Let's put it out there.
We're a bunch of monkeys. We like seeing people
Exactly.
fuck.
And there's nothing wrong with watching cartoons do it. Is it a little weird? Sure. Is there stuff that I've seen out there that I wish I hadn't seen that still gives me nightmares? Sure. You watch something else. You let other people do their thing.
You can
It's
even argue it's not even a little weird. It's very weird.
It's extremely weird. Like I said,
Yeah.
nightmares.
I've
Still to
seen
this
some
day.
stuff that I'm not proud to admit.
Not my
but
proudest boner. Definitely.
Was definitely an experience that I don't regret,
It's art.
and it improved me as a human being.
I don't know about that, but it was art. I'll defend art. Anyway, let's continue with the article.
I'm a better person for it.
The ABF website declares that people traveling to or entering Australia must not bring in anything constituting illegal pornography. That being defined as child pornography, okay, that's acceptable, any depiction of children in a sexually explicit manner, as well as the fairly broad and nondescripted catch-all of publications, films, computer games, and any other goods that describe, depicts, express, or otherwise deal with matters of sex, drugs, drug misuse, or addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, terrorist acts, or revolting or abhorrent phenomena in such ways that they offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults are not allowed. What the fuck is this?
I don't even know how to interpret that, because it's like, so it's
Sex,
basically
drugs,
you can't
misuse?
bring literally anything we don't want you to.
Yeah. Oh, wait, sex, drugs. So what? I can't bring a condom?
Not if it has a little cute anime girl on it.
No, I mean like it's well, something it depicts. Oh, otherwise deals with matters of sex. So I can't bring like a sex book. You know, like for health reasons, medical reasons.
Yeah, Kama Sutra now banned, motherfuckers.
Yeah, or so you can't listen to rap anymore because drug misuse, addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, terrorist acts. You can't watch a movie anymore, like a regular movie. Dude, you can't watch fucking Harry Potter according to this.
I mean, I think it has to be within the context of what they consider illegal pornography, right?
I have no idea, but I mean, anything could be illegal pornography. Like I said, there's girls who have the body type of a lolis. Like even even anime itself, there's characters who are elves who are thousands of years old that just look childlike.
That has always been a meme. Like,
yeah,
the chick who looks like 10 and she's like, I'm a 3,000-year-old witch.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? You're technically just like a 20-day-year-old drawing anyway.
So try explaining that. Let me just say the sentence. She's a 3,000-year-old witch, officer. Please don't arrest me. Imagine having to try to explain the story of what you're watching. And also, what if it's just a regular anime and it's a dumbass who doesn't know what he's talking about? He's like, oh, that's porn. And like, but it's not porn. I'm watching fucking Naruto. What the hell? It was just a weird episode.
It was like a Hot Springs episode.
Yeah, it was. Yes, thank you. A Hot Spring episode. Like, I'm watching Ranma 1/2. It's not my fault. It's a comedy. What the fuck? It's so. Dude. What the fuck is happening? So this thing is way too broad. Anything.
This includes bestiality and sexual violence.
So freaking furries are not allowed there anymore?
Well, something good had to come out of this, right?
Something. Slow clap. There you go. Fine.
Little victories.
All right. Listen, we can compromise. Okay. All right. We can compromise. So
cut a little bit here, leave a little bit there.
Sneaking it in. Anyway, what the seriously? Like this is
maybe this whole thing is just a Trojan horse, and they just want to ban furries. and everything else is gonna be thrown out.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna be like, this is too ridiculous. This is too ridiculous. But to compromise, we're gonna ban the furries.
All right. I mean, that's fair. No, to me, dude, this is too, like, let's say I have, I don't know, Clan Ad in my fucking laptop. Would that be considered a sex game or whatever?
I remember a very lewd scene where they were holding hands.
Dude,
Middle of the night.
next episode, chick's pregnant. Chick's pregnant.
I like that canonically the fans consider it she got pregnant by holding the hand.
That happens all the time, man. Virgin Mary, I heard it.
You
Anyway,
never know.
let's continue, because honestly, the more I read about this, the madder I get. So I can't wait to see all the surprises. That hentai, along with every other adults-only product being shipped by an international hentai distributor, has been lumped into this distinction of illegal porn. Is not entirely surprising, nor has it come without precedent. So, dude, they're discriminating basically against Japanese people and their porn. So, because what it says here is international hentai distributor. Hentai is traditionally distributed by Japanese people. So it's basically they're against Japanese porn. Now, if you want to be like, hey,
animated,
Japanese porn sucks and we don't want to have it here, okay, that's up to the customers. But the country saying you can't ship your shit here is like, dude, it's fucking gross. I remember you told me the story. I'm not exactly sure where it happened, but there was like this convention where they were trying to decide whether or not they should, if rape porn should be banned. And the representative from Japan was like, fuck no, we are not banning this. And the representative from Japan was a woman. So,
yeah, I do remember that.
Immediately she was like, no, we're standing up.
The fuck
Are you kidding me? Do you want me to get killed in my own fucking country? You want me to just die when I get home? No, I'd like my rape tentacle porn, please. Thank you. Anyway, let's
Please
continue.
don't confiscate it.
Exactly. Anyway, let's continue. Earlier this year, several South Australian politicians, typical South Australian politicians, man.
All of Australia's in the south, you morons.
Typical South Australia. Anyway, called for an urgent review of the nation's federal classification laws after discovering that comic books and videos being sold in Australian stores depicted sexual images of children, including scenes of rape, incest, sexual abuse, and exploitation. Now, here's what I love. I love these things because it's funny. That means these fuckers were watching child porn. These motherfuckers, yeah, by their definition, were looking at child porn. They saw child pornography. Arrest every single one of those Southern Australian politician motherfuckers because they were looking at child porn by their own definition. Motherfuckers.
Have you ever seen that like correlation between the people who are really against like child pornography and stuff, and how many of them are secretly pedophiles?
If it were a Venn diagram, I'm guessing it's going to be almost like this.
Yeah, it's
Like
closer
almost
than
like
you
this,
might
closer,
expect.
closer like that. Anything like that? Yeah. Honestly,
Like I think one of the guys in the UN was actually like caught for like human trafficking or some shit.
I would not. That would not surprise me. Honestly, it would not surprise me. Listen, is child pornography a bad thing? Yes. This is not it. This is not it. It's a completely different thing.
Well, you have to go back to like the fundamental question of why is child pornography a bad thing? Because it hurts children, right?
Yes.
Like the actual making of. So, for example, a movie like what the fuck is it called? The Netflix
Cuties.
one. Yeah, Cuties. That movie was the topic is about basically about the sexual exploitation of
Children. Yeah.
children and
It's
how
about.
they have,
I think it's about a girl who wants to join a dance troupe or whatever.
yeah, and the movie's message is about the fact that the sexual exploitation of children is wrong.
Yes.
So the message is good. The problem is to show that message they had to sexually exploit children,
Yeah.
which was no good.
Yeah. You. What's the rule? Is it in the Count of? I think it's in the Count of Monte Cristo. Don't commit the crime they imprisoned you for, or something like that, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that.
But in the case of drawn pornography or whatever, literally nobody got exploited or hurt in the making of. I guess the artist, if they got exploited, but
They didn't pay him enough.
probably
I don't know. To me,
they always start at the bottom there.
Listen, if you're going to start considering cartoon characters as real people, then you gotta give them fucking rights. And that's fucking insane. All right? Are you gonna give them the right to vote? No. Why? Because they're not fucking real. They're not fucking real. Are you gonna give them a social security number? Well, probably in their animated world they have one. No, because they're not fucking real. All right? Here's the point of all this is that it's not real. It's a, somewhat call it a fantasy, you know? But we're living in a world of really crazy people. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that somebody's doing this to cover something up. Like somebody's family member, like a politician's family member was caught being a pedophile. And he's like, it's the hentai. It's the manga. We found a bunch of books in those rooms. So obviously, this is what made him do it. It's not us that we raised them terribly. It's the books. Ban the books.
And you know,
ban the Japanese.
It's the meme. I'll never forgive the Japanese.
Anyway, let's continue. This just keeps getting worse and worse. Earlier this year, blah, blah. Okay, discovering the comic book. So, all right, so I read that. You have Astro Boy and Pokemon. Oh, I already fucking hate this sentence. I don't know where this is going, but I already fucking hate it. All right. You have Astro Boy and Pokemon, and in amongst all that material, there are titles which clearly contain material that meets the definition of child exploitation material. What? What?
You know,
how?
You could argue that Pokemon contains themes of animal abuse.
For sure, definitely. Even slavery.
Not real animals, but
yeah,
still. And it's the reason why Pokemon Black and White has the best story, not
Shut
gold
the
and
fuck
silver.
up. Shut
but
the
whatever.
Fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Child abuse?
That's a wild fucking leap.
Well, I mean, I guess it's child abuse when the mom lets her 10-year-old just go out into the world with an electric rat to protect him.
Yeah, no, but dude, this is the argument that they're making here. That they grab two things that are completely innocent, but between those, in between, ooh, the hidden child pornography is. So eventually, what they're trying to do here is they're trying to make it guilty by association. So what they're gonna do next is they're gonna try to ban the Astro Boys and the Pokemons because it's hiding all the other evil stuff. It's hiding all the other stuff that's really fucked up, and then makes all these pedophiles in Australia.
And I think this is something that a lot of people don't understand, especially if they're not into anime.
They're not real.
They're not real, first off.
I need that to be clear. I don't know if we've said it enough. They're not real.
It's still real to me, damn it.
All right? It's like, if I'm watching a movie and there's a rape scene in the movie, I don't call the cops. I'm not like, hey, man, Jeff Goldblum just raped a chick.
Didn't that happen with one movie?
Seriously?
I think that somebody got killed in a really graphic way, and they thought it was a snuff film.
I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Of course, there's idiots out there, and there's crazy people out there, but this is.
I think it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Seriously?
The original? After they saw the movie, they thought it was like an actual documentary.
Seriously?
I think I'll have to look that up. But
Anyway.
the problem is people may not be that familiar with anime, so maybe they just hear these stories online and they're like, oh, if the government is banning this cartoon stuff, then it must mean that all anime is child porn or whatever it is. When in reality, like, assuming that all anime is hentai is like assuming that all movies are pornography. It's a genre of, but it's not. What would you say? It's not the whole thing. It's just a genre.
Of course, no, it's not the whole entity.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is ridiculous. Honestly, like, let me just continue reading this because it's making me mad. I thought this was gonna be fun. I thought it was gonna be like a fun little thing. Well, it's making my blood boil.
Okay, I do remember. You remember that Pokemon episode with Hypno, where he's stealing all the children?
Yeah.
Maybe you can make an argument there.
I mean, I guess
Hypno the pedophile.
I mean,
but they stop him in the end.
But freaking Pokemon was super progressive because you remember James would dress up as a chick the whole time.
There's an episode where he has tits.
Yes, it's a very progressive show. But anyway, let's continue. Best Upper House MP Connie Baldros told ABC in February, themes of minors involved in incest and rape, sexual abuse, the choice was absolutely endless. So here's something that I find really funny. In order for them to identify all this pornography, that means that the government has to pay somebody to go through all the material. That means that the government is paying somebody to watch porn in order to regulate it. Now, their go around here, the way to avoid it is that we'll just ban the whole thing. That way we don't have to pay somebody to watch porn, which could apparently, according to them, could be child porn, which means that they could be making a pedophile. So the way to avoid it is they're just banning everything, which makes no fucking sense because some of this stuff is not pornography. Now, granted, if it's a hentai distributor, it's probably going to be hentai. It's probably going to be porn. But now you're
at least softcore.
Yes, definitely. But now you're getting into a gray area. Like what makes something porn? Like, and it's kind of hard to describe. And I remember once, I think it was a senator that said, I can't explain it, but I know when I see it. It's one of those things like,
I'll know it when I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. What if it's, like something that I think is just like a normal, regular love scene that's maybe a little risque, and you're like, oh no, you're clutching your pearls, and like, this is clearly pornography, and they're abusing the rights of that poor animated character. And
like, for example, the I don't know, the draw me like one of your French girls scene in Titanic.
Okay.
It's like, you see a naked woman in there. It's clearly meant to have like a sexual theme going on, but it's really more about like the artistic thing they had going on. Like the guy was an actual painter, right?
Yeah.
But then you see a movie like, what is it called? Eyes Wide Shut?
Uh-huh.
And you're like, yeah, this is kind of just Hollywood, just making a
Kubrick was just want to see Natalie Portman naked. I don't know, not Natalie Portman, Nicole Kidman naked.
Who does?
Which is fine. It's understandable.
Yeah.
It's
like,
and listen, there's a reason why it's Kubrick's best film, okay?
Yeah. And look, horror films, they tend to use nudity and, sexuality and stuff for like exploitation reasons, you could say. Like they don't use it doesn't enhance anything. It's just we put titties in there because that's what the audience wants. And really, in the end of the day, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Like no adults are getting hurt or no children are getting hurt.
As long as they get paid.
Yeah.
It's consensual.
Like the audience gets to see some titties, everybody goes home happy. These Australian senators have to go back and be pedophiles.
It's really weird, honestly, because what were they looking into? Anyway, let's continue. Federal Senator Sterling Griff sided with Bonaros, I guess that's somebody who's right, launching a motion in Parliament that called for a review of classification regulations. Experts that advocate against child exploitation have referred to this type of anime and manga as a gateway to the abuse of actual children, he said. Experts also say that explicit anime and manga can be used by pedophiles as tools to groom children. It makes me sick to the stomach to even speak about this. So first off, these dudes know a lot about pedophiles, apparently.
Well, first off, that's funny because there's not actually evidence for that.
I know. It's the exact same argument as banning video games because they make people violent. There's actual evidence to the contrary.
Yes, violence actually started going down.
You know why? You know why? Because people have an outlet. It's an outlet for a fantasy. And you know what happens? Let's say this is the track of a pedophile. All right? This goes from left to right. It goes from 1 to 10. So I'm going to assume that from 1 to 5, no contact with children. All right? So let's say he watches an anime, he reads a manga, he plays a dating sim, all that stuff, fine. He has the lolies fantasy, so he watches loli porn, all those is fine. From 6 forward, that's when he touches children. That's when there's actual physical content.
And that's where I would call it
criminal.
Very, very wrong.
Yes, criminal. Criminal. Castrate him, kill him, I don't give a fuck. So, what do you think happens? Let's say if person X, I'm not going to say you, but person X is a pedophile, and you make...
Wait, where are we going with this?
And you make steps 1 through 5 illegal. You take away steps 1 through 5. The only option that this pedophile has is to, A, not be a pedophile, which would be the best option, really. But sometimes, people are fucked up in the head. And unfortunately, this is the hard truth about pedophiles. You don't know they're pedophiles until it's too late. That is the hard truth. That's the disgusting truth. It's always too late.
Like, even those that, like, they admit it to themselves that they are fucked up in the head and they want to try like avoid it any way. They're not gonna go around and tell people, yeah, don't worry, I'm a pedophile, but I don't touch children.
Yeah, you know why?
Who the fuck's gonna do that?
Because they'll be ostracized by society. They'll get the shit beat out of them, and nobody would actually really feel that bad about it.
Nah.
But anyway, so if steps 1 through 5, again, just watching cartoons, playing video games, or wherever, don't involve touching children, or even giving them a robot or whatever, don't involve touching children. All right, it's weird, but it's fine. You're not hurting anybody.
It's weird.
Step
I would
6
even
through
say
5.
it's gross.
Yeah, 6 through 10, that's when you touch children. That's when it's bad. So if you get rid of the things that don't harm anybody, what do you think he's going to do? What do you think she's going to do? Because it could be a female. I don't know. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to go to the only option that they have. Right? Right? Is that crazy?
And, well, I mean, the other one that is, I would say, an actual issue is the issue of actual child pornography, like with actual children involved.
Yes.
Because a lot of people say that, well, why don't they just let them have that outlet? And it's that same argument as before, where it's like,
You're harming
well,
kids.
you need to harm kids in order to make that stuff. When it comes to hentai, you don't need to harm anybody because they're not fucking real. They're lines on a piece of paper.
Also, what about dudes who like petite women? Huh?
Like that guy.
What about that? Yeah, I like petite women. What?
Yeah, he's a pervert.
I'm not a fuck you.
In Australia, you'd be illegal.
Dude, actually,
If you go to Australia with your girlfriend, you might get arrested.
she might get arrested.
Yeah, because you look too young.
Of course, definitely. I do look very young. Yes. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's insanity, but let's continue.
I like women thick, so I don't really have this problem. But I sympathize.
I like women in general, so whatever.
Fine.
Federal Senator Sterling Griff, blah, blah. Experts that advocate against child exploitation have referred to this type of anime and manga as a gateway to the abuse of actual... Did I already read this?
Yeah.
Experts also say that explicit anime and manga can be used, but I already read this.
I read
Sorry.
this.
So Australia's classification board only assesses the suitability of comic books if they are submitted for review, the AVC reported, and those submissions are only made at the discretion of the book's distributor. Nonetheless, consumers can still be charged and prosecuted for possessing cartoon hentai if authorities decide it fits the definition of child exploitation. So, like, people can get arrested for this and prosecuted if they decide it fits. All right, so it could be like a random anime story just that has a little, like, it could be High School DxD. And
yeah,
they could
those
be,
shows have nudity in them.
yeah, but there's never, not actual, like, even, and some of those, aren't they like thousands of years old?
Yeah, but I guess they wouldn't take that argument, right?
I mean, that puts you in the situation where you have to be like, no, it's actually a 3,000-year-old elf, officer, which is always weird. Listen, I've had the situation before whenever I'm thinking about doing something, I always try to, in my head, explain, like, officer, you know, like say, for example, like, you're with a girl and she asks you to choke me hard, and you're like, no, because I don't want to have to explain. She asked me to choke her. Officer. It's not something that I want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's dumb. Like, if she's like, oh no, slap me harder, and you slap her too hard, and it's like, oh, but she asked me to. Officer? It's not.
These things have recording capabilities.
You just record her saying it?
Yeah, you can change
I
the
need you
thing
to-
so that
I
you
need
can
you to
have the
have-
audio right away.
I need you to have, like, I need you to consent from you that says you want me to slap the shit out of you. All right, now I know.
Just record them without their permission. I'm pretty sure that's legal. I didn't say that.
Not in California. Not in California, all right? So let's continue. In 2015, a 52-year-old man in Adelaide was given a suspended jail sentence for having more than 300 anime images that were classed as child pornography. 300 anime images.
I'm pretty sure I just have that in wallpapers.
Dude, are you kidding me? Like, what if he just really liked, what is it? Onaha? No. Anohana. And the main character, Menma, is a lolis. And all of a sudden...
better example, No Game, No Life.
No game, no life. Perfect definition. And also...
Because that chick's naked in that show.
Yeah, and in the movie, it's a robot. But it's a childlike robot, so...
I haven't seen the movie.
It's actually pretty good.
No,
It's not as good as the show, but it's okay. It's
I
alright.
didn't like that it was a prequel. I wanted more of
Yeah,
the show.
honestly, it's not as clever. Like, the actual anime is really clever. But anyway, and sequel's coming. But yeah, like, what gives them the right to decide? Like, seriously. Like, they don't know the story. What if it's an actual robot? What if it's a cyborg? What if it's a digital person? Like, you know, like, they're in the digital world.
Yeah, actually, I remember Digimon Tamers.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember when they reach, like, the final evolutions? When they start mixing together with the Digimons?
Yeah,
When they show them inside, they're actually naked.
that's pornography.
And when I was watching it on TV, I actually found it really weird. Because the girl character, she, like, fused with her Digimon. and you can see her nipples. And I was watching it on TV, and I'm like 80 years old at the time, and I'm like,
What?
nipples,
Nipples. Dude, do you remember back in Super Smash Brothers when you shocked Samus and you could pause it and move around?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
because
yeah.
it showed you the outlet of her body.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so is that porn now? Well, no, because she's a grown-up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not child porn because she's a grown-up. Anyway, let's continue. During sentencing, Judge Paul Muscat, these people have great last names, by the way, noted that although the man thought that he was doing what he was doing was similar to reading or taking part in a fantasy rather than contributing to the production of child exploitation material, it was not that great a step to go from that to viewing material of actual real-life child exploitation.
That's actually a pretty big step, if you ask me.
It's a gigantic fucking step. Again,
Because first off,
the
one
argument
of those you can readily find available on the internet, which is images of lollies and whatnot. And the other one, you can't really because it's illegal.
Dude, this is one of these things that like it really bugs me because people, I guess, they're like, to me, the way that I look at it, it's something that they get a trigger on and they feel like they need to do it. So the ones that are actually fucked up are these people. Like, for example, if I'm watching a cooking show and I don't know, they're grilling a piece of meat and I'm like, oh man, that makes me hungry. But if you're watching, I don't know, a movie where somebody gets, killed, like if I'm watching American Psycho, I don't think like, man, I want to go get a chainsaw and kill somebody. The issue is that these people, when they see shit like that, when they see stuff that could be pedophilia, they get triggered the same way that I would get triggered watching somebody cook on a TV show. Like that, they have that in them. And so they're projecting it on other people. They're like, well, if I feel it, other people have to feel it. No, maybe you're just a fucking psycho. Maybe you're just the sick person out there. And you're just projecting your feelings on other people. Most of us in the real world, we could just be like, oh, we can just appreciate art. Like
or maybe they're just misguided, I suppose.
I don't know, but this
if
argument
they
is...
actually believe that one leads you to the other, when in reality it's two completely different things. I mean, maybe they're just misguided on what their beliefs are.
Dude,
in terms of this stuff.
this is the dumbest fucking argument ever. It's like, oh, if you watch a rape scene in a movie, then that the next step is you raping somebody. Like, are you kidding me?
Isn't it more women that watch rape porn than men?
Yes, definitely. Guys tend to watch lesbian porn.
No, I think women watch more lesbian porn.
I'll fight you on that one.
Porn statistics are difficult because women watch more time, but men watch way more. Because men tend to be like, this
Quality
video,
over quantity,
this moment, right now, 5 minutes, done.
You spend 20 minutes finding something that you only use for 20 seconds. I get it.
When we discovered that we could skip through the video with a keyboard, it was a miracle.
But it's such a stupid argument. One thing will lead you to the other. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but with the rape thing, it's more women watch rape porn. It doesn't mean they like women getting raped, right?
Or the women commit more rape.
Or that it's a fantasy. They're playing out a sexual fantasy or whatever they have.
Man.
I mean, guys watch fucked up stuff too. There are furries in the world.
Yeah.
Plus the people who watch like scat shit.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Funny choice of words, I know. There's weird people, but as long as they're not hurting anybody,
that doesn't want to get hurt.
Yeah, you can hurt people. That's fine.
Yeah, some chicks dig it.
Yeah, just
remember, always remember.
Paperwork.
Officer. Always remember that. Don't do anything that you would not have to end a sentence when you're explaining it with officer.
Just make sure you have a paper trail.
Sure.
Have the receipts.
Yeah, but oh man, this and this is coming from a judge. Like a judge is saying like there was not a big step from this to the other. Like nothing at all. Like I could understand certain arguments of that, like with the food thing. Oh, if you see somebody cooking, you're gonna get hungry. I could understand that, but even that is still a leap because some people watch cooking shows and they don't get hungry.
And he's trying to make the argument of
they just want to ban everything.
This brings you to the next.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the gateway thing, and I think you can even argue it with anime. That anime pretty much guarantees that you're gonna see some hentai in some way or another, right?
Okay.
Like just as a you know, you watch an anime you really like, you go on maybe Reddit or something.
Yeah, but it's
and
like
then, and
if
then
yeah, but
it leads you there.
but it's
somehow.
it's the same way. Like if I like the NFL, I'm gonna watch a little bit of college football.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna go watch basketball
No, not necessarily.
because it's a completely different thing.
Yeah. Now, if you were making the argument, and this would be a little bit more reasonable, where you're saying we want to avoid children watching this because, it's a cartoon and kids might think it's for them, that would be a little bit more of a reasonable argument, but still, it has 18 plus in there, so it's just a matter of being a good fucking parent and not buying 18 plus material for your fucking kids.
Yeah, but I hear that forcing people to be good parents is not that popular.
Man, fuck all this shit. Let's continue. Does it matter that most of the images you accessed on the internet were anime? On a limited assessment, it must, for no actual child was being sexually abused, Judge Muscat said. However is a fancy but, and as we know from Tyrion, not from Tyrion, from Benjen, who learned it from Ned, nothing you say before but actually matters. So we're about to find out the part of the sentence that actually matters. However, as I previously observed, the concern is that those who view anime will go on to view images of actual children being sexually abused.
Fact check false. I watched a lot of anime, and I've seen a lot of hentai. I don't think I've actually seen... Well, I guess you could argue I've seen images of actual children being sexually abused on Netflix.
Oh, Cuties. Did
Yeah,
you watch
it's-
Cuties?
No, but I mean, it was...
You saw the trailer?
I saw the poster.
Yeah.
Like, it was right there.
Still, that's not something you want to leave a clip on the internet, because I'm gonna edit it out of context. I'm
Yeah.
totally gonna edit that one out of context. And guess where I'm gonna play it? At your wedding day.
Whenever I get like a huge promotion.
when you're up for the Supreme Court, guess what's gonna come up, bitch? Guess what's gonna come up, bitch? No, but dude, this, like I said, nothing you say before but actually counts. Well, generally. And so, it's such a leap. You're watching a cartoon, and it's going to lead to children being... That means, it's like watching a Disney movie will leave you to abandon your kids.
No,
Because most of those fucking kids are orphans and shit like that.
or it's more like watching a Disney movie is going to lead you to watching images of actual children being sexually abused.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the difference between Japanese anime and a Disney film?
One
is made in Japan, one is made over here.
Yeah, so it's basically xenophobia or racism, depending on how you want to do it.
I don't care. It's the same principle.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's a fair argument. It's watching a cartoon is going to lead you inevitably to child pornography. So all roads lead to Rome. No matter what you do, you're going to end up watching child pornography, apparently, according to this dumbass argument. Because, watching real children in real life is going to eventually lead you to child pornography too. It's actually a shorter leap if you think about it. Okay, I'll break it down.
Maybe the fires weren't enough.
They're not clean enough.
They weren't baptized by fire enough.
Let's see the final thing. Vice News reached out for blah blah blah. The petition, no response in the time of this publication. Dude, this is disappointing. It was infuriating. Reading this whole thing is infuriating. The logic down there it makes no sense to me. Their arguments make no sense. And this is from a judge. They're using Puritans to establish law. This is moral policing. This is morality police. That's what they're doing. They want to arrest people for doing something that harmed absolutely nobody. In fact, on the contrary, they created jobs. The dude was probably or the chick was probably learning a different language. So this is just morality policing. I don't know how other way to describe it. And for those of you who don't know, that means that they want to arrest people not for breaking the law, but for doing something that they don't like. That's morality policing. And what is that? That's whatever they don't like at that moment, because the goalpost will never stop shifting. They will always be able to move the goalpost. And eventually, they'll find a way to extend the argument to screw you over. Because they'll find a way of saying, like, well, all roads lead to that eventually, so you're a pervert and you're a pedophile. And so you're going to jail because we don't like you. Because you didn't submit. This is the issue with censorship. It never fucking stops. Alright? It's a problem. Australia, get your shit together. What the fuck are you looking up?
I actually got curious. I looked up manga artists that used to do hentai. And one very recognizable, I suppose, Masamune Shido created Ghost in the Shell.
I'm not surprised. Now, honestly, not surprised at all.
Popular cooking anime, funny enough, Shokugeki no Soma. Artist Shun Tosh Saiki used to do hentai. Apparently, it was really high quality.
Wait. The dude from High School DxD, that he used to do porn, I wouldn't believe you.
Hell no.
Nah.
If anybody
that's a classy man.
If anybody ever
woman.
saw the harem anime Love Hina, very wholesome.
I haven't seen it, but I'm a fan of the harem animes.
Hentai. Who else? Trying to find like.
And you know what's crazy? Eric told me this story, but I didn't find any information here. So I'm right now. What you're about to hear is complete and total speculation, but I don't give a fuck. Eric.
Oh, the guy from High School of the Dead also did it, but that's not a shock.
No, good for him. Honestly, it perfected his craft. Anyway,
The guy from Spice and Wolf?
seriously?
Fuck out of here, really?
All right. So here's a fun story that Eric told me, that apparently this whole thing started because a politician in Australia was watching Sword Art Online.
That's something I read that somewhere.
Now, what was the scene that he saw in Sword Art Online that caused this whole drama? For those of you who don't know, Sword Art Online is an anime where basically when you go to sleep, you go into the video game world, and this particular video game world, the creator locked you in, and if you die in that video game, you die in real life. Was that fair?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so that's that anime. And apparently
Popular.
this particular, yeah, extremely popular.
Not very
Very PG, honestly. For very extremely PG, kind of dark, but PG. Would you agree?
Yeah,
PG-13.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, this congressperson or whatever, but this politician in Australia was watching Sword Art Online, and he found a scene that made him be like, "Oh no, we gotta stop this. We gotta put a stop to this." What was it?
So apparently, from what I read, it could be just bullshit.
This is all speculation, like we said. This entire show is all bullshit, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there was apparently a scene where the main girl, Asuna, was being raped by tentacles, by the main villain of that arc or something.
Now, I've watched the show.
I've watched it too.
One of the main villains from the show, total creepo, pervo. He wanted to marry the girl while she was asleep. Weird.
He's a weird.
There's
he's
also a
creepy
scene
dude.
with tentacles. These are not the same scenes.
Yeah, that's the thing. There is a scene where the guy's being a total creep and he's like grabbing her up or whatever, and there is a scene where she is being kind of molested by tentacles. But these are two completely separate scenes, and I think it's two different seasons, right?
I'm not sure.
Maybe I misremember.
I tend to forget certain seasons.
I think, and the speculation is, he was watching some sort of like fan animation or doujin of some kind that could have led to him thinking, "Oh my God, they're showing this on
For kids.
cartoons."
Yeah. So the dude was a dumbass.
Also, Sword Art Online is for teenagers, not
Children. Yeah. So the dude was a dumbass, and he basically what he was doing was he was watching a parody porn of a popular TV show. It's like if you're watching, I don't know, Star Wars, and you're like, we're banning Star Wars because it's pornography. It's the exact same thing. The exact same thing, except I don't know if there's an actual porn called Star Wars.
There has to be.
I'm
There
assuming
has to
it's. I'm saying that one because of Zack and Miri Make a Porno. That's what they were making. They were making a porn called Star Wars, and it was a parody of Star Wars. The point is, this is all bullshit. This is why it matters who you are voting for, because you might be bad, or you might be getting people up there who will arrest you for watching cartoons. Watching fucking cartoons.
You know, the whole reason I want COVID to end is so I can go back to Japan and get more doujins. They have them like out on the streets.
Dude, I really wanted to go to Australia. I really wanted to go and hang out with the kangaroos. Now, you know what? Skipping Australia, going straight to New Zealand. going straight to New Zealand, gonna do the tour of the Lord of the Rings, and I'm just gonna flip off Australia on the way out, and I'm gonna stop by in Japan. Just fuck it, because I'm already on that part of the world.
I always wanted to go to New Zealand better than Australia anyway.
Now,
But
yes.
now I'm making a point out of it.
Yeah. Screw you guys. You know what?
Kiwis
you know what?
for the win.
More than angry, more than disgusted, more than anything, I'm disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed. I expected better from you. You used to be criminal, man. You used to be a cowboy. You used to be cool. Now you think cartoons will lead you to freaking child pornography? That's weird. It's weird that you can make that connection, because it means that it's inside your mind. It's inside your heart, and definitely inside your pants, you weird-ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, you just know they got like terabytes and terabytes of like weird lolly porn.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of whoever smelt it dealt it. And I'm going to end on that, because I don't think I can close it out any better. So that's it. As always, thank you for listening. You can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Eric's joining me here. You can't find him anywhere. If you want to say something about him that's stupid, or if you want to clip his little statement there out of context, you're more than welcome to. If you want to join me... Oh, whoa. That was loud. Can you hear that?
No.
Well,
But I could hear it through your headphones. So I'm like,
join me. I need that to stop. What is doing that? Why is that happening? As always, thank you for listening. I'll see you again next time.